I've been getting quite a few questions from people about whether they should be using Claude 3.5 Sonnet or GPT-4o within their notes. Now, for some context, Reflect now lets you toggle between the two. So if I head over to my preferences here, you can see in the AI provider, I can switch between the default, which is Anthropic, but Reflect is always updating the LLMs we use. So if we, you know, update to a better one, it will just change that to the default. Or you can manually set it to Anthropic, which right now uses Cloud 3.5 Sonnet, or OpenAI, which means it will be using GPT-4o. So going back here, you can actually see a bit of a performance comparison if you're curious on each of these elements. So in general, Cloud 3.5 Sonnet is just better. You'll see Alex say that in Discord. So if you objectively just have to leave it on one, I would recommend using Cloud 3.5 Sonnet. But there is the option, and I thought what I would do is go through some examples here. And basically what I have is an original piece of text. And then I'll show you what it looks like when I run the AI assistant using Claude and GPT. So I've already done this for all of these, so you don't have to watch the AI prompt go, but just as a summary, you can highlight text, do Command J, or click on the magic stars here, and then just select an AI prompt here. And it will use whatever you put in the preferences there. Now, I should also note that the chat, so if you go to the advanced search here and then start chatting with your notes, that will also use that model. And I'll probably do a comparison on that one at a later point as well. But to start off with, let's summarize some text. I'm going to start with Claude here. So actually, I should leave the original open. So this one is summarizing text. I believe I just did the short summary prompt here, right? A short summary. And let's take a look at both of these and see how they did. So initially here, I'm going to give GPT a little credit because the summary is shorter, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's better. So let me kind of read through these. So, I mean, they're both pretty decent, to be honest. I don't think either one of these is bad. I think the comparison here I would give is that the Claude 3.5 Sonnet left in a bit more information and the GPT one condensed it a bit more. So for that one, I would probably still credit it with Claude. That's still like quite a bit of a summary on that. Although I do probably wish it would have condensed it a little bit more. Okay, let's try the just writing text. So this is kind of one of the things that I think, LLMs struggle with the most is where you're just asking it to generate text based off of something. So what I've done here is I've taken an example like we are in our notes and we need to write an email about something. In this case, telling someone that a launch is pushed. I just kind of made this up. And then I gave it like a voice and tone thing. So what I would do is then on each of these, I ran it and then email. There's a system prompt called generate an email. So Claude, dear Todd, I hope this email finds you well. It always writes off like that. Wanted to inform you of important update regarding yada, yada, yada after careful consideration. So it basically just put in some fluff text. But I actually think that's pretty good. Like, I don't know, if I just worked some corporate job and my job was just like sending emails like this, I mean, that could really speed up your work if you just wrote things in bullet points. And I should also say here that, I'm just using the system prompts. In this case, I would have a custom prompt for writing an email. Should actually do a video on that, where it doesn't use some of this kind of gaggy language, like, I hope this email finds you well. All right, let's look at GPTs. It's still shorter. So this is something that's kind of interesting. Is that the GPT does seem to be shorter so far. But anyway, dear Todd, see, same thing. I hope this message finds you well. That's a worse writing though. I wanted to inform you that we have decided to push the launch of Started Cookie to next month instead of August. So, okay, I have to say, I think the GPT one's just objectively better on this one. I think the formatting's better. And that's kind of what I'm noticing on some of these. The formatting with GPT is better, but the writing with Claude is better. Okay, so that was writing an email. That was honestly probably one of the harder ones. Let's move on to some logic here, counter argument. So I just gave it this simple sentence that AI will fully automate 30% of jobs by the year 2030. I think McKinsey is the one that just announced this, so I just thought of it off the top of my head. So let's see what Claude says. While AI will likely impact many jobs, the prediction of 30% full automation is likely overstated. And then it just lists out some points here. So yeah, these are just great logical points. I kind of like also that this is effectively a list of counter arguments. So that's kind of nice. GPTs, on the other hand, kept it in a paragraph format. So while AI is advancing rapidly, it's unlikely due to several factors: the complexity of human tasks, need for emotional intelligence, ethical and simplicity. Okay, so this to me seems like a clear win for Claude. Uh, a lot of the information is the same, but I think it's phrased better. It's formatted better in this one, unlike the previous ones in a list like that. And it's just more compelling. So this is just a lot of soft stuff. Whereas this seems more like concrete logical arguments, which is effectively what the original prompt was asking. So, big point for Claude there. Okay, simplify and condense writing. So this is, oh, teaser. This is like summarizing, except I view it as better at like taking complicated information and distilling it into something that's easier to understand versus just the condensing part. So here I just used AI to generate a paragraph about CNC manufacturing. I don't really know much about this, but I'm starting to explore it. And so this is a scenario where, I'm pretending I have stolen this from like an article or a book or something, and I maybe don't understand it. And so instead, I'm gonna have I just kind of simplify it so that I can understand it, and hopefully it will be shorter, so I don't have to read that big block of text. So let's see how it does here. Okay, so again, it hits me with the list. I love the list thing, and again, I'm running the same prompt on all of these, so it's doing the list and the formatting automatically. And it's distilled it into an actual process. So that one's really cool. I think this might be the best one so far. So here it starts off with like the process and it picks that up and then it does step by step. And then now it actually just defines it into a step by step list. I really like that. GPT, on the other hand, again, it just condensed the text, which is kind of fair. That's what the prompt said, but it just wasn't smart enough to know that it would be better for it to reformat a bit. Starts with designing the part with the software. Designer creates the model. CAD model is then exported. But this is quite good because it still has simplified it, and I can understand this without knowing anything about CNC manufacturing. So again, both models are good, but I would definitely favor Claude here. So I think we have a strong win so far from Claude here in these examples. Okay, this is the last one I have, rephrase writing. So original, the teaser again. The original is, oh, this is from a paragraph that I wrote actually in an article on DIY manufacturing revolution. So I'm just going to see how it does rephrasing my own writing. So Claude, in contrast to software, hardware development continues to be a daunting task. It demands substantial financial investment and intriguing logistical planning. So that's pretty good. I mean, the prompt is just to rephrase it. It's not supposed to rephrase it in anyone's writing. So I guess kind of a little bit hard to assess this one. But I did want to use system prompts for this video, and all of mine that are rephrasing it like specific people are custom prompts. But it did a pretty good job at rephrasing that. So if I was writing something, let's actually first look at the GPT one. Yeah, that definitely seems worse than me. I mean, I don't like that Claude uses words like daunting still. I don't think that's much better than delve, but overall, I would give the Claude a point in this one. But to be honest, they're pretty similar, and that's probably my fault. Maybe I shouldn't have chosen a simple rephrasing, but I wanted to see how it does. So those are all the examples that I have. I think what I'm going to do is publish this sheet, and then I'm going to keep adding some examples, and people can kind of just get an idea of which ones are better, and I'll make it more comprehensive. And then maybe even, when we update our AI model that we use, like, I don't know, maybe we add in like Llama 3. I don't know what they're on right now from Meta, or maybe Anthropic and OpenAI come out with a new model, and I can just go through and update these so people always know which one they want to choose. But in general, I would keep my setting on default. And again, I'm going to try and do a video on chatting with your notes and the difference in kind of the results of that. So that might be next week, but go ahead and subscribe to our channel, and then you'll see it.